Welcome to this session of the ICTMD Pre-Conference Symposium, Healing, Health and Wellbeing, Indigenous Perspectives on Music and Dance. My name is Kirsty Gillespie. I'm a Research Fellow at the Australian National University. I am also one of the program co-chairs of the 48th ICTMD World Conference that will be held in Wellington, Aotearoa, New Zealand from the 9th to the 15th of January. I am speaking to you from Mawng, Brisbane, Australia, from a place just south of the city known as Moorooka, a home to the Yagara people. And I'm here with my colleagues, Brian Dietrich and Marcia Ostaszewski, and I'll invite them both to say some words to you just now. Thank you, Brian.
Kia ora koutou. Hello, everyone from Aotearoa. Great to be here with you and good to see you all here in this first of two sessions. I just want to thank my collaborators, Marcia and Kirsty, for running these sessions. And you'll be hearing a bit more from me a bit later in the second session to follow. Kia ora.
Is the mic open? Mic.
Yes, it's open.
Gwe, Deluisi, Marcia Ostaszewski, Jilida, welcome to our the final two sessions in our pre-conference symposium. My warmest thanks to Brian and to Kirsty for their collaboration in this, and also to our tremendous research assistants at the Center for Sound Communities led by Eric Escudero. And Peter, can you give us a wave? Peter Verdon. And Ulysses is here also. They've been organizing and supporting this conference in the lead up and now through all of the technical needs. So thanks very much to all of you. I'd also like just to draw our attention to the fact that many of the knowledge holders and practitioners who have been sharing with us their songs and their stories this weekend will in fact be in Aotearoa, New Zealand in January at the 48th ICTMD conference. And so when you meet us there, you'll have an opportunity to meet with them and to hear more and to see more of their practice. So we're all looking forward to seeing you in January.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Brian. So now it's my great pleasure to open this session introducing the presentation from Australia, an hour-long pre-recorded dialogue entitled Ka Yayak Pakpa Ya Manyadi, Bringing the Song to Life, Keeping the Momentum Vibrant. This presentation is a discussion between Inyalarku mermaid ceremony leader Renfred Manmurulu from Goulburn Island in Arnhem Land, Australia, and ethnomusicologist Dr. Reuben Brown and Dr. Isabel O'Keefe. It draws on their collaborative research over a decade with Jenny Manmurulu, Rupert Manmurulu, and other senior knowledge holders on Manyadi public ceremony. Renfred gives examples of expressions relating to Manyadi in his language of Mawng that encode relationships between people, country, ancestors, memory, and emotion. He discusses the central role of Manyadi in navigating a range of emotions around grief and loss and passing on intergenerational knowledge. Now, to introduce the individual people involved, Renfred Manmurulu is a songman of the Injalarku song set and assistant teacher at Warrawee School. Renfred mentors apprentice singers and dancers of Manyadi at Warrawee School and teaches school students Indigenous knowledge through Manyadi ceremony. Rupert Manmurulu is lead singer of the Injalarku Mermaid Song Set, an expert didgeridoo player as well as an expert carver of clapsticks. He carries on performing the Yumparpar giant dance performed for Injalarku ceremony, taught by his late father and grandfather before him. Jenny Manmurulu is the senior female dancer of Injalarku songs of her late husband, David Manmurulu. She is a senior Indigenous teacher and cultural advisor at Warrawee Community School. Dr. Reuben Brown is a non-Indigenous or Balanda ethnomusicologist and Australian Research Council DECRA Fellow with the Research Unit for Indigenous Languages, University of Melbourne. His interests include the reuse of archival recordings to support transmission of Indigenous knowledge. Since 2011, Reuben has collaborated with the Injalarku group and other ceremony leaders from Western Arnhem Land to document and support the maintenance of Manyadi Kunborg public ceremony. And Dr. Isabel O'Keefe is a research associate at the Sydney Conservatorium of Music and has worked with communities in Western Arnhem Land since 2006 to document the public Manyadi Kunborg dance song traditions and the languages of the region. Her research interests include the relationship between language, song and emotions, and working with communities to support the maintenance of languages and performance traditions. Now, I believe we have Renfred, Isabel, and possibly Jenny joining us today. I'm not sure if they're in the room. They could say hello. If they're not here, they may join us later at discussion time.
Isabel here, and hoping Renfred will be able to join us soon. So find out. But I know, unfortunately, Reuben is out of range, so won't be joining us today.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, Isabel, and I look forward to seeing the others. So we're grateful for all the presenters for their participation today, and those who aren't with us, I believe, planning to join us in Wellington in person. So we hope you can continue the conversation with them then. Okay, so now we invite you each to turn off your videos while the recording is playing, and please, of course, turn your videos back on once we're ready for discussion afterwards. Thank you very much, and please enjoy this presentation from Australia.
Welcome everybody to our presentation. Thank you for joining us. My name's Reuben Brown. I'm in Naarm in Melbourne, coming to you from the lands of the Kulin Nations, the Woiwurrung country and people, and I'm very honoured to be in this discussion today with my colleagues Isabel O'Keefe and Renfred Manmurulu, with contributions from Jenny Manmurulu, Rupert Manmurulu, Tamia Fejo, and Ruth Singer as well. So thank you all for joining us. I'll let them introduce themselves as well.
Hi, my name is Renfred Manmurulu. I'm from Mawng community, from South Colburn Island, Mudbalk.
And I'm Isabel O'Keefe. I'm currently in Warang, Sydney, on the lands of the Gadigal people. And I'm a linguist and musicologist.
And we would like to acknowledge and pay our respects to Indigenous peoples, not only from this continent where we're presenting from, but also those that are joining this pre-conference symposium as well. And we're delighted to be able to present alongside others that have shared their knowledge and held their songs and dance for many millennia, and we feel very privileged to be a part of that. So Nanyuk, Renfred, would you like to share with our audience the title of our presentation?
Okay, our title is Karayak Bakpa Jamanyadi, bring the song to life, keeping the momentum vibrant. And that's how every song sets that been brought or has been sung in the past, being presented in the past right up to now in the present.
Yeah, this photo here that we're showing you was taken at the Stone Country Festival in a place called Gunbalanya in Owenpelly. And just tell us a little bit, Nanyuk, about what it shows there, who's dancing in the middle, in the background, and what's happening in this moment, what's being brought to life.
Okay, in the middle, that's my brother Rupert Manmurulu, Jenny Manmurulu in the pink top, and as you can see, in the background and the people around it is it is vibrant because the Manyadi hasn't been sung at Gunbalanya for a while. It was the moment, it was the big moment that people actually experienced it, that reminded them or reflected them from the past, where a lot of people used to go in there, present, whether it was Mawng or a funeral ceremony. And then when they had the Stone Country Festival, it brought back alive again. And keeping that momentum vibrant was very important for the people in Gunbalanya. Yeah. And a lot of them afterwards was actually giving us a lot of feedback that it was really good because they haven't heard a lot of Manyadis from the past. Yeah. So there was a big gap there.
That's right. So it hadn't been performed. This song and this dance that you performed hadn't been performed in Gunbalanya for a really long time. And so we'll unpack some of those wonderful ideas that you mentioned there, the Mawng diplomacy, Manyari and what it means, the relationship between singers and dancers, and this idea of remembering. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, aren't we, now, and unpack it a little bit for everybody. One way we can do that is we can also talk about what this verb, Gariapakpa, actually means, because it has a few different senses, doesn't it, about refreshing and feeling parched. And
it's also a very good sense of a good feeling at the same time, because it's really special whether the singer, how it feels, like how I sing, I feel good at the same time. It rings me too, and gives me the higher hope.
Yeah. So that good feeling comes. The way that you've explained to us before, I remember as well, is that it actually also comes in a performance when the dancers are making the singing ensemble feel alive. Is that right? And feel good, like you were just describing.
Yeah, because it gives you all that energy and the extra tempo too at the same time. That feeling, a good feeling. Yeah.
So we'll play a little example of this that you're talking about, which was a example of an Injularku song that you were singing. This was the first time that I was introduced to Injularku over a decade ago, and Isabel was there as well, and your late father was singing, and we thought we might play this example because it kind of shows that that expression that we're talking about how the dancers have that good feeling, they get up and dance, and then that strengthens the singers who also have that good feeling, and together you kind of energize each other, don't you? And then that has other effects on others. So it's like a ripple effect going out.
Yes, just a one drop and then the ripples. Yeah.
When I listen to that, I actually want to get up and dance myself, even though I'm sitting on my chair here. So I feel that you know, I feel that that good feeling too. You know, I can, especially that, you know, I can almost feel the feeling of that margle resonating in the body, and the feeling of the singers all just singing so tightly and together, which can create that sense of one voice singing, you know, with such energy.
Yeah, as you just explaining, you know, and you got that really high end explosive energy there that just boom, you hits you because of that. Like when you have that song like that, is because when people get up and start dancing, showing the younger ones too, as they were dancing, you know, and they were teaching them when to stop and start, and when to come in and go out when it comes to dancing. Yeah. So yeah, very. I was just wiggling my toe too at the same time. I wanted to get up and dance. Yeah, it's got that really, really explosive energy there. Yeah. And in this video, I think it was Patrick who was playing the didgeridoo, the arawir, and that's Rupert with the white cap on, or the hat, and our late father there. And that's me sitting next to you, Reuben.
Yeah.
So as we're going through here, this is the cycle of kingship and moiety that comes with the totems of the 4 totems on the island. You got the totems Andanus, rock, fire, and sun. And then the moiety, you have the white cockatoo and the black cockatoo there, which means Irija and Dua. And they are, and on the side there, it tells us the cycle of our skin names that are, and right on top you have the Marco, then you have the Ngarangaraiku. Ngarangaraiku would be the opposite side of our skin name.
And how could you reflect, maybe, Nanyuk, about how Manyodi reinforces these skin groups as well?
Okay. It's not. Yes. It relates to that because Manyadi goes from father son to father son again to father son. Sometimes Manyadi can go the opposite, father son, and then if the son doesn't pick it up, it goes to the father's nephew.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's like the opposite side. Yeah. It can go on.
It could also go. It could also be passed on through a daughter's son. Is that right? From the father.
Yeah. Yeah. His like, say, for an example, like for me, it can also go to like me, Noyuk, and if my son doesn't pick it up, he'll pick it up my sister's son. Or it could be my mom, he can pick it up. My daughter's kids, they can pick it up. And like, as you can see, it's all in a triangular shape, in that system there. It shows where, say, for me it says Nawuyuk down the bottom. My first marriage, like for me, my first marriage would be Ngalamarang, where you can see it goes right up to Ngalamarang. And my second option would be Ngalomut. Yeah. Like for you, Balang, Nangarij, you got your first marriage for Nangarij is Ngalangila. And then the second marriage would be Ngalawaj.
And those cycles go through your motherline, don't they? Like you get your skin name from your mother.
Yeah, from your mother's skin name.
Yo. So in a way, also, I've often noticed that when people are singing Manyodi and talking about Manyodi, that there's a lot of this kinship and sense of identity is part of it and reaffirmed, because people will say, the elders will say to that younger one, this was your grandfather's song, or, this song was used to be danced by, your grandfather,
Yeah. It is because like it is mostly like, like most of the like elders now, like the old people, they always mention like you just mentioned it. Oh, this is your grandfather favorite song that he used to get up and dance, like especially with the fast ones. Yeah. This is your brother, your grandfather from your mother's father. He used to get up and or play the didgeridoo. That was his favorite song, and or your father's father used to sing this song.
Yeah, and so even though the Arakbi, the men have responsibility for singing the song and playing the arawi, the didgeridoo, everybody in the family, including the Waramumpik or the women, also have responsibility for dancing and for that knowledge about the songs being passed down, including, where it came from, right? And who's danced it in the past, and their connections to country and to family. So it's sort of all
linked.
Yeah.
Linked. And like same goes with Waramumbik too. Like there's like if that young generation, young lady, if she don't get up and dance, the older lady would explain it to her. I get up because this the one whether it was your gagak, like your mother's favorite song, she used to get up and dance, or this one could be your mama, like your mother's father favorite song used to, like, maybe not your mother's father's sister favorite song used to get up and dance too. And that's the and like it works both ways on the Arakbi side and Waramumbik side. Yeah, both genders.
Yo.
So this is Warawi community, South Colborne Island, in the Northern Territory, Northwest Arnhem Land. And that's where it is on this map. As we zoom out, as you can see, that's where we're there. At the moment, I'm at Minjilang, which is the next door neighbor.
And tell us why you're actually there, Daniel.
I'm actually at Minjilang right now is because I came here for a funeral and to show respect and sing, and also because it's a close, like, family too, and to show what's that word? Grieving, yeah, to grieve too at the same time, yeah.
Yeah. Manyodi is very connected to grief, isn't it? And helps people to grieve as a community and as a family.
Yeah, It is, because it is vital to bring those Manyadi and keep it alive too at the same time, and to try and engage with the younger generation to consistently or continuously play Manyadi, and encouraging too at the same time, whether other Manyadis too, you know.
Mm.
This is where I'm from, Madpal, as you can see. And then there's Reuben right down. And then you got Isabel.
In Warang. So between us at the moment are, hundreds of nations, Indigenous Australian, that are across this continent. Some estimates say over 400 different languages. And so today we're just talking about one little region, one little part of one little region, aren't we?
Yeah. The Mawng region we're just talking about.
But it's a special community in many ways because of the different languages that are spoken there.
Yeah, it is. It is. The main language there that is spoken is Mawng, and then you got other language groups that are spoken there too, like Gunwingo, like Beniguno, that's Gunwingo. You got Gunbarlang, got Nakara, you got Gunubiji, got Iwaja, Brara, even Creole. Torres Strait Creole. And then you got Eastern and Western Aranda. You got Yolngu Mata there. And then the, universal language there, English.
Isabel, did you want to reflect a little on these connections between multilingualism and Manyadi? That was your thesis topic, in fact.
Yeah, so it's this incredibly multilingual place, but also lots of different Manyadi that Renfred and his family perform. Their main one, Yinjalarticle, but lots of other ones. And all the different Manyadi are connected with different country that is also connected to language. So this map shows some of those there. And if the Manyadi is connected to that country and that language, it's not necessarily sung in that language. Some of the Manyadi have more than one language in them, like those Karikarik songs or the Gunbalang love songs or the Itbi songs. And then there's other ones that I think, Renfred, you might talk a little bit more about, that are in like a spirit language that isn't an everyday language.
Yeah. So you got the spiritual language is the one that the spiritual songs that are not every day has been spoken, and that's what just Isabel just explained it. Yeah. So you got the outside Manyadis ones, and then not the Manyadis, the outside language. Correct me if I'm wrong, Isabel. Yeah, and then you have the more spiritual ones that are more that the one we just mentioned earlier, not been spoken, like day-to-day life.
Yeah, sometimes those everyday ones, people would say that they were love songs or everyday language songs, and the other ones like spirit language songs.
Yeah. The love songs and the nursery rhymes. That's the everyday. The spiritual one is the one that we sing mostly on the, like, especially with funerals or Manmurulu. Yeah.
And so what's it like when we're thinking about well-being, and when you're actually singing some of these songs and they're in the language of the spirit world, the ancestors, what's that feeling like as well for your well-being, for connecting to the country that those ancestors lived and looked after for so many generations?
It is very very vital to keep that spiritual songs too, because sometimes if you do lose it, when you lose it, that's it. It doesn't come back. It's not a day-to-day, a daily thing that comes back again. You know, if my son doesn't pick it up, and if a thing, it doesn't get that thing, because it's a spiritual song. It's more of a gifted song. It's not just any song, you know. It's a gift.
I remember your mum Jenny telling me one time that when she was dancing, it was like she could feel the Injalarku in her when she was dancing.
Yeah, no, it is like, especially when I sing Injalarku, you know, like probably first few rounds when we sing, like especially in the funerals or even in Manmurulu, you know, when I sing, you know, and for the first few rounds that we go, there's no feeling into it, and then after a while, I can feel it now. That Injalarku, like that spiritual being coming back in, you know, and then that's where we revitalize the song, and then it becomes more and more vibrant. This is the Manyadi Injalarku man-made song set. You can see from the past, on the top left, you have Al Wawu, our father's father, George Winterwood, and then you have Rupert there in the middle with me. That's over in Thailand, Bangkok. And then Jenny there with a few others, ladies. And then you have Al Wawu again, George Winterwood. That was in the taking the first missionary time. And then you have my father, late Noamut. And then you have Rupert there presenting a Manmurulu.
When people first looked at those two photos of the Yumbarpa dancer with your dad on the one in the middle and the one of Rupert on the far right, it was almost like they couldn't tell them apart too, hey?
Yeah. It is, because you can't tell by which is which.
So it can happen in the dance too, can't it, Nanyuk? Like that feeling of the spirit of the deceased person coming back into the living through the Manyadi.
Yeah, and that's what I was just mentioning earlier. Like it comes back, you know, and sometimes it goes into the person, in like say in the present now, like maybe that person that might dance might have the that dancing style or that technique that was a person in the past was dancing.
So we've mentioned a couple of different contexts in which Manyadi is performed: funerals. We've talked about Manmurulu, which we're going to talk about as well. There's also openings like that you mentioned earlier on, like the school opening, and celebrations in the community, saying goodbye to people. Is that right, Nanyuk, as well?
Yeah, like celebration, or could be farewell.
And Isabel, what's the other occasion as well for women?
When a girl has her first period, there's a special ceremony for that, and the songmen come and perform Manyadi for that one.
It's kind of like a celebration thing, like, okay, she thing.
Like she's a young woman now.
That one, a young woman.
Yeah. It marks key transitions in people's lives, doesn't it? Like that, you know?
Yeah.
Graduations as well from high school or from
High school,
university.
or university, or other institute. Yeah.
So these are some photos that Rupert Manmurulu and I took when he went out to demonstrate and show where he goes to collect the gunduk, like the wood for rananka, clapsticks, and arawir. Did you do? And Nanyuk, did you want to reflect a bit on this, because you've been teaching this to the school kids, haven't you?
Yeah. With this, it's very important too, because there's two lots of wood that you have to go look for to collect and carve it into for clapstick, and then you have and that's like the cashew nut tree, and then you have the ironwood tree. And it's because it's very tough when you clapping with those sticks together. And the other one, when you go look for to make the arawir, is the tree called the stringerbark tree, and that's waluru. That's what it's called. When we go out, we look for a end pit that are placed down right down the bottom of the trunk of the tree, because we know it's the termite that created that thing and eating the wood in the middle to make that tree a hollow log. So it's easy for us to cut it down, and then we create into arawir.
Manyori can also be performed as part of your trips, maybe even out to go to country to collect this wood, or to go for bush tucker or for crabbing.
Sometimes you find something special there. It's like maybe the old people or the ancestors put that thing there for you to collect. Yeah. So if it's a special arawir, maybe they're standing, you know? Yeah, but like I was mentioning about the old people that put the arawir there, it's both, whether the Yadparawara itself or the Arabujba. He might go there and see it, because that arawir could be for his voice that match, you know. Okay, what are your well-being? So this is the thing that elders and the other generation below them was actually mind blown, because these kids actually sung in an opening ceremony for the school art expedition, art expo, that they drew most of the art themselves, the kids, but the kids actually itself performed as an opening ceremony.
So normally, like in funerals and other places, it might be the adults that are leading, but in this occasion, it was the kids that led the whole performance and also accompanied on the arawir. Is that right?
Yes. Because we went out bush and we cut the didgeridoo and cleared off, clear the inside part, and then we brought Rupert to come in to tune it up the arawir, and just right for the kids. And then we went out again to collect pepstick at the same time, and kids was like so proud of it. Like every lunchtime, they would sit down and take it arawir out, and then they'll practice. Any manyadi, they'll practice. As long as they're pretty keen to keep on going, yeah. And even though it's an ongoing like ongoing things that are going on, but the most important thing is to get those younger ones at school right now to perform and stuff like that, because of the new technologies and stuff like that keep coming out, and that's the other distraction.
How were the kids feeling after that performance that you did for the school opening?
They felt really proud themselves, like they didn't realize themselves that how much effort and time that they put, but they really felt really good at the same time, because at the end, all those things that shamed your business, kind of broke off. They broke their ice and then came out.
So these are some of the expressions that we've been discussing, right, in our presentations past and in the lead up to this one, that encode Manyodi and these different relationships between the past, the present, and also the dancers, the singers, and the emotions that are bound up in all of that and in Manyodi. So, yeah, maybe Nanyuk, would you like to take us through these different expressions and we can unpack them a little bit?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, Arumberunda Alan, and that's that photo we just seen about those kids, the school kids performing and stuff like that. They were following the footsteps of their relatives, and the next one is Gangmarangolin know you. So Gangmarangolin know you, it could be that song, that one particular song that maybe through out of all that Manyadi, maybe there's a one special song there that really breaks your heart, or memory of something. So when you hear that song, that's one special song. And then when you go to other place and then an event that goes on there, and then maybe there's that Arabujba or the singer man there with that Brawara, and singing that song again, it kind of reflects you back like, I love that song. Yeah. And Gariyak Papa Manyadi. That's the expression of that song, make that song happy, or even making it more vibrant, that song. Engaging with the dancers, like we put it on that video earlier, where we sang Angel Arco, and those men who was just sitting there got up and started dancing. But that's what the meaning is, making that song happy or bring it back to life.
Mm-hmm.
The last one is so yeah, this song, soothing that feeling or rinsing our emotion or nourishing our soul too at the same time, because sometimes that feeling, sometimes when we sing, or if that family member, if we sing and another family member who's sitting there might not, he might not feel it, but then after he's starting to feel that feeling, that soothing feeling, or the rinsing, the emotion, or nourishing the soul.
Is this a way, like, can Manyodi help people to relax and to actually release some of those feelings? Is that part of what this expression means to you, or?
Yeah. Like that feeling now, like whether, like say, if I go and present myself at a funeral, and if those family member at the funeral that are not not engaging or that feeling, and then when we go there sing, I think we kind of make them feel happy and stuff like that. Yeah. So we kind of healing them too at the same time.
At the funeral, yeah, it's such a special thing how they sing people in to the funeral there. Yes, and that's part of what you'll be doing there at Mindjalang now. So
yeah.
So you're going to be rinsing some people's emotions in the next few days, right?
Yeah, or even myself too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
We were just saying before, like there's so many different ways to translate some of these because it's hard to translate them into English. They're these lovely, succinct ways of expressing it in Mawng, but it's a bit harder to translate to English. We need all these different ways of trying to translate it to explain it, but they're these really beautiful expressions about Manyodi.
And another really important ceremony for the community well-being at large is this Manmurulu that we've written about before, and we've performed together before. So yeah, Nanyul, could you like to just introduce Manmurulu and the different stages as well of the Manmurulu and what happens?
Yeah, Karolok Baba, that's the main one. Like we go perform at the that special place. So if someone presented us a Manmurulu, we go there and get a look back, and then we at the say the last day is of that, like say if you got that whole 4 days of dancing or 5 days of dancing, number 6 day is that I don't want to gigi. Let's show it or teach, and then I don't manangani. We just go show him around and then we take it back. and then we share that mamur now. We share that mamur, that gift. We share it around with Arargbi and Waramumbik. Yeah.
So
And
the
then
Arakbi dance it, and then the Waramumbik dance it. So the men dance, and then the women all take turns. Is that what you're saying?
yes, to show, but then we take it back. Yeah, and that's like, say, we might go dance in the morning. We go show them around, and then we wait till afternoon, the main event. That's when we go and present it to them.
Mm. And then that last stage, women Wali.
I mean, only, you know, look back, but means their turn now. After we done our performance, our thing, and then we pass it back to that person,
Mm.
like man, not that person, but the actual main mob that we presented to them. They gotta perform back to us now. So, women only, you wanna look back, but their turn to sing after a handover. Yeah. So once we present it to them, we finish, them up turn. They start singing and sing.
And did you want to just talk about what's in that photo and what's happening there with the beeswax?
Yeah, the beeswax are one line there that we was the word that I didn't mention earlier as we was going through. I didn't mention one line is that beeswax. And in that beeswax here, that's the preparation or how we creating the mamuru. And the beeswax goes whether it's the hair that was that gift, whether it's a hair or a coin or a sense, like that are given to us. So say maybe someone gave it to us $1 coin or maybe a 50 cents, and that's how we're starting to create the mamur. So that's how mamur we work on it. Because in the beginning we showed you what mamur look. You might have seen what the mamur look like, but this is how mamur being created. So we sit down, we put in all the effort and stuff like that before we present.
And you weave the hair, or as you said, that coin. You weave it into the mamanung of the people who are going to receive. So it's a surprise for them too, isn't it? Because the people receiving the mamanung don't know until they see it right at the end there that's their hair or their coin that this mob have been dancing with the whole time.
Yeah. In the past, it was like hair, and belly button. And for like nowadays in a modern world, where money came through, well then now we involve whether it's money, like mainly silvers and coins.
And so this mamanung, it actually relates to the health in a way and the relationships between lots of different groups across the region, because there's a long history, isn't there, of people exchanging mamalung, inviting others to come and give them mamalung, and so it keeps relationships healthy between groups. It's not just about an individual or a family, but it's actually about the whole community.
Yeah, the whole community and the other community too, So if one community that was, so say for an example, if I flew to say Gunbalanya. If I fly to Gunbalanya there and present the Mamurung there, you know, and then maybe say in exchange I give them something there, you know, like maybe, hey, Mamur, and then they have to come there to present the Mamur. Maybe some Arabuj bad there, you know.
So we'll just have a little listen to your father dancing the Yumparapar and performing on the final night of the Mamurung that you all presented for me and my adopted family, and also my wider group of my research family, including Isabel and our supervisors Linda Barwick and Alan Marrett. And maybe Nanyuk, you can just mention or just mention a little bit what's about to happen in this video.
In this video, we will gonna do the presenting of the here. There's that long wait for you, Reuben. It's that Mamurung, that the gift we're gonna give you back. Yeah. So that's my father now dancing. He performed, and that's him giving you that Mamurung now.
Perhaps, Nanyo, could you just share with us actually what that last part of that video was about, where they were, where you were all holding your arms out and singing to us?
Yeah, at the end, right at the end, when we put our hand up and saying things, it's more of like a farewell now, like saying goodbye now for that Mamur now.
Bobo.
And yeah, like Bobo. Yeah, like farewell or appreciation, like saying thank you for giving us the.
You're saying it's almost like a privilege, or kind of an obligation,
Yeah. It was a privilege and an obligation too to acknowledge. Mm.
And that ties in with my next question I was going to ask you about, because I remember your mother, talking about how when you sing that goodbye at the end, that goodbye song, but also that action that says goodbye, that you're speaking to the people who are there, like I was there at that time, but you're also thinking about other people that you have already said goodbye to, right, who've passed away or used to sing that song.
Yeah, like it reflects too, like on many levels or different stages too, because like it can go backwards and right at the like it reflects on the past, and then it comes on and on and on to when we in the present when we finishing off that thing, So but I mean the past means long time ago that something been happened there, and I like say for an example, when my bunyi, when he passed away now, and then now when we sing, we still reflects on him. Or even it reflects on our like his father. Yeah. And then along the way too, like all those other family members that we grieved along the way and like lost and stuff like that.
Yo. Normal. Isabel, did you have any other reflections or thoughts or questions?
I think just from when we were talking the other day, Renfred, you were saying like the memories, but it's like it's can be sad memories, but then there's also that good feeling that comes with it as well, remembering, and that the songs help with those memories, even though it can be sad remembering people that have passed away, but the song also brings that good feeling too. That was really interesting, sort of holding all those different feelings and helping people sort of process those and think through them, especially like at funerals or in celebration time too. Like Manyari seems to have such a really important role for all these different parts of people's lives and how they're feeling.
Yeah, because it is because all those emotional things that happens, whether it's the good, the happy, the fun, the sad, and all those things that happens, and many they do help us, like we go, like it's like we're going through that feeling, or like we're going through that like rehabilitation by that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's like where you have mixed emotion too at the same time.
Yeah, the song is so powerful. Manyari is so powerful like that.
Yeah.
I remember being at funerals too, where people even call out, like the young kids will call out like happy, or trying to make everyone happy, make the song happy, cheer people up. Yeah.
And that's that partner where we call it yeah. Like how you, Reuben, you was in another stage, and then boom, and that's that word we call it normally.
Yeah.
That's that word. Yeah. That changed your sense of behavior. Yeah.
Like the different moods changes those different moods.
Yeah, different moods.
Well, we really appreciate, Nanyuk, that you've spent this time for the audience and for us to share, these really important insights about and knowledge, about Manyadi. Also, Isabel and I have reflected as well about how privileged we've been to share this stuff with you too, and with your family, who aren't here today, but who've definitely been part of these conversations that have informed the knowledge that we're presenting here today, right?
Yeah, and it is privilege too. Like every now and then when you guys was coming in and out, coming in and then explaining stuff too at the same time, in the sense of how you've already experienced it with the Injalargo group too, and other Manyadi groups from the Northwest Arnhem Land.
And that wonderful new expression we learned, the Kamulyut Parpar Narumali, that song nourishes your soul. That's a beautiful expression.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. We can say Bobo.
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 Thank you to the presenters. Thank you to Renfred, Manmurulu, Reuben Brown, Isabel O'Keefe for a very comprehensive and moving discussion about Manyadi. For me, highlighting the holistic nature of the performance, including music, dance, language, kinship. We had comprehensive notes on kinship there too, country, the ancestors, and connecting with the spiritual world. And I think that there are some strong parallels between this presentation and the ones that we've had previously in the symposium, which are very interesting to discuss at some point. But I'm very glad to say that we have Isabel here joining us now, as well as Renfred, I believe, using Reuben's name, so don't get them mixed up on the Zoom names. So I would like to invite Renfred and Isabel to say hello and to speak a bit to us now following that wonderful presentation, and then we'll be taking questions as well. Thank you both.
Thanks so much. Are you there, Renfred? Hi, Renfred. Thank you so much for letting us join. It's particularly early in the Northern Territory where Renfred's coming in from, but he's joining us here today. Did you want to introduce yourself, Renfred?
Yes. My name is Renfred Manmurulu, and I'm from Warwick community, South Goulburn Island, in the Northwest Arnhem Land. I'm at Crocker Island at the moment, Minjilang. Yeah, for a funeral.
You're still there at Croker for that funeral?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm Isabel, joining from Sydney, where it's quite wet today. Renfred and I have worked together for many, many years. And before that, I worked very closely with Renfred's father and mother. And I don't think Jenny can join us today, but all of her knowledge has been part of this presentation as well. And then the next generation, Tamia, Renfred's daughter, has been very involved in presentations on Manyadi as well, and even teaching Manyadi at the school, teaching Manyadi dancing to the girls when she was at school in Melbourne. So it's very important intergenerational work that's been happening, and lovely to see the next generation really coming up as well. So I think we're just very happy to take any questions, unless, Renfred, did you have anything you wanted to add from that presentation?
Not really, just ready for any question to be asked.
Please feel free to jump in. Austin, I think you have your hand up.
Yeah, Renfred, thank you. That was a beautiful video. Thank you for sharing. I had a question right off the hop. You mentioned that you introduced the music when into your community. Did you get any like how was the music received in the community when you first introduced it?
It was first as in traditional music. Yeah. Okay. When we first thing with the kids, kids were actually what do you call it? They were more of a let's just see a lot of us like the older generation, like singing and stuff like that. So they were actually motivated and they wanted to do something for themselves. So we actually went out bush and then collect the didgeridoo. I cut down the didgeridoo and then we cleaned it at the inside and stuff like that. And then went out again and collect the clap sticks, the sticks for the clap sticks. And then we created, and then like I mentioned before on the video, kids start practicing during recess and lunch hours at school.
So there's song traditions that have been going for generations and generations. And for many of the particular song sets, there's sort of been this unbroken line. Some of them, I think, Renfred, you might have touched on that there's some that are being revitalised, particular song sets, but the actual tradition as a whole has been going for many, many generations and is still, children are still learning it. I've seen little kids even in nappies or just learning to walk, also just learning to dance. Hey, Renfred.
Yes.
Learning to dance almost at the same time as learning to walk.
Yeah, it is. It is like they're still practicing, and like you just mentioned, revitalizing those song sets too at the same time. So it's not gonna be left out or gonna be missed out, and then those song sets will be gone, Mm.
Yeah, so Renfred and his brothers have helped some of the singers of other song sets where maybe they've been left maybe one generation or they've been put aside for a long time, and helping build those back up again, haven't you, Renfred? Whereas the Ingelartical Mermaid ones have kept going from your grandfather to your father to now you and your children.
Yeah, passing it down to my son and Rupert's son, and then keep on going. We're trying to keep that momentum and flowing.
So does that answer your question okay, Austin, or feel free to ask follow-up?
No, it was good.
Vanibor?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the nice presentation. I really enjoyed. I was particularly curious about the spirit language that was mentioned. I think it is associated probably with some kind of restrictions on who and when can use it. So please, maybe you can develop a little bit more on this. And what is the learning process in this case?
I'm going to start, Renfred, and then I'll hand over. So from what I understand, these spirit languages are only for particular songs, so they're never used in any other context except for these songs. The phonology is very similar to the spoken languages of people, but it's like a kind of restricted, it's just a very small subset of words, but it's not something that changes every time. They're the same words every time. When I worked with Renfred's father, we sat down and wrote out about 30 to 40 distinct song texts with distinct sort of words, but you can't translate any of it. But Renfred, do you want to talk a little bit more about maybe the Ingelartical spirit language and how you learned when you were singing?
Yeah. It's the spirit language is more of a spirit, and the spirit, like spirit realm where it's much restriction, and we can only sing through those spiritual connection where it's not just everyday thing where you can talk to it. Like those languages are restricted to at the same time. Okay. And that's the limitation of restriction with the spiritual languages that we use.
Yeah, I remember your dad once saying that it was just for song, like, so that Injalarko language is just for that Injalarko song, and maybe the Nginji one is just for Nginji song and things like that.
But is it accessible to all community members or just to some?
I think just
for some.
Yeah.
The song, the singers itself. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how did you, when you were learning from your bunyi, your father, how did you learn those songs?
Well, we started at a very young age too. Like we were always sitting next to our father, on his lap, or could be sitting next to him and listening to him singing, and then we would go back home and practice too, whether it's in the shower while he was having shower, or if we're doing something, some sort of activities, but we would always sing there at the same time, or even going out on the boat, at the boat across to mainland, and whether the elders used to go out and do harvesting, collecting oysters and stuff like that, we would start singing away, grab a stick that was laying around on the beach and start singing, pretending at the same time, until we developed at a very young age where nowadays you got all these technologies like coming in, like the mobile phone and stuff like that, where that's the distraction. Where back then there was no mobile phone, no less gadgets, put it that way. Yeah. And like nowadays you got the distraction, the gadgets that comes along. So it is hard at the same time that we try and bring those kids back, like you can record it too at the same time, with the phones, you can record it and play it, and then sing.
Mm. And I think all the words and the music and everything has come from dreams or from the Injalarko spirits too. That's right.
Yeah. Like the spirit and the dreams too. Like the main singer man. If he have those dreams, and then he pass it down to, or he share it more like it. He share it with us, and then that's where we practice too at the same time. Yeah.
Hmm. Answer the question, okay? Good. Brian, I think your hand's up.
Kia ora. Thank you, Isabel. I just wanted to have a note of thanks to you, Renfred and Reuben and Isabel, and your family as well. You participated in the Lisbon conference and the Bangkok, and it's been wonderful having you involved in events for the council. And thank you for this presentation as well. Recently with Marcia and Kirsty and Reuben, we talked about events in January at the coming conference, and we're looking forward to hosting you here. So just a note of thanks for sharing that with us. Thought it was really rich and very, very wonderful. Kia ora.
You're welcome.
Do we have any other questions from the floor? Just give everybody a moment.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, Renfred. I must say thank you for joining us so early on a Sunday morning where you are.
Yeah.
Isabel too. It's really lovely to have you here, and I know not everybody could join us that was involved in the presentation, so we're so grateful to have you here and to have Isabel too helping with our discussions. So thank you.
Reuben sends his greetings, but he is offline somewhere in the bush in Bunwurrung country in Victoria.
Well, that sounds wonderful as well. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions, then a big thank you from all of us to all of you, and virtual and audio clapping. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We hope those Indilartical performances, the songs that were played, will help you have a good feeling on a Sunday morning from
Certainly. Thank you so much for your generosity and for sharing. Okay, so with that, I'll close this part of the presentation and I'll hand over to Brian Dietrich, who will take on the next section. Thank you, Brian. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Kirsty. Thank you all. I think for this time, what we've been doing is we have the next session starting in just a few minutes. So I think it might make a good time, take a short pause so we can take a short break and have a cup of tea. And we'll start at 30 past the hour. We'll probably have some other people coming in, new joining us. So I'll turn off my video and take a short pause and see you back here in a few minutes. Goda, thank you.